Thanks for staying up later. Dana Carvey with us. That's awfully nice of you to greet the people
Just
that way.
People. You see a little lens, I see millions of people up with insomnia, desperately trying to get some rest, and you can't. You're going to stay up all night.
It's positively demonic.
Yeah, it's a little character called Demonic Guy. Or Satan Man, I'm not sure which one.
When people look at you now...
Yes, they think of you.
Do they really? What? This
Hello,
is becoming...
welcome to Boyish Men. Hi, I'm a boyish man, and here's another boyish man. We're downright boyish.
It's taken a perverse turn in the early stages, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, we are sickeningly boyish. It's like unbelievable. But as we age and the wrinkles come in, we'll still look like some sick kind of 18-year-old guy with a disease, probably.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I'm getting wrinkles, but I don't look any older. I just look like a really worn-out kid.
That's the thing. They think you're 22 and you've been beat up.
Yeah.
As opposed to a really well-preserved, smooth guy.
Which character...
I don't want to give your age away.
Which character do you think people think of first now when they see you?
Well, I want to say... I don't want to say Church Lady, but I think that's still probably neck and neck with George Bush. It's pretty close. It was Church Lady, lady, Church Lady, you know, for the first year. But now lately, a lot of people will come up and going, not going to do it, wouldn't be prudent, you know, stuff like that. And then I tell my mom, stop it, enough! Good night.
Would it be prudent to continue doing George Bush during this period of time?
Good question. I don't know. It's kind of sensitive. I did a college campus a couple nights ago, and I just said, saw doing some sorties. Saw a scud down there and a sortie, because I just think those words are funny. And they got a little quiet. So I don't think it's really appropriate. I think the joke couldn't be on Bush right now. I think it's too tense.
It's an interesting thing about comedy, though. So much of modern comedy is drawn from popular culture, and popular culture is essentially television. This is a television war.
Mm-hmm.
So those phrases, those faces, whether it's Schwarzkopf or Powell giving a briefing or mention of Scuds or Patriots, that's in everyone's frame of reference.
Right.
And therefore there is a temptation to joke about it, and I guess you could say that joking about it within certain boundaries relieves the tension. On the other hand, there's got to be somebody out there who's going to be offended by it, and the answer to that isn't the same as answering someone who's offended by a sexual reference or something, because this is very, very serious stuff.
Yeah, so I think I'll probably lay off on Bush for a while, unless some brilliant idea comes up that we think wouldn't really offend those people who have relatives over there and stuff and friends, you know. But we did it on Wayne's World. We just made fun of the news reporting, basically, like, Wolfgang Blitzer is so obvious he made up for the war, you know, and no one seemed to be offended by that, you know. So, I think it changes week to week. I don't know where we're at now. Now it's a little exhausting, you know. It's like every 5 minutes, and I don't know. So I think I'll lay off for a while, is the way I'm going to answer that at this juncture.
I can't remember if we talked about this the last time. Has Bush seen your impression of him? Do you know for sure that he has? Have you gotten any response from him?
Oh, yeah. This has happened since I was on last time. I met Bush in June at the White House. And I came in the Oval Office, and Quayle was there, and it was just weird. They looked like they're cut out of a wedding cake. I mean, their haircuts look like a $300 haircut. I don't know how to use. They look waxen and clean and fresh.
You know, Dan Quayle is George Bush's comedy liaison.
You think so?
Anytime there's a humorous person being escorted in, Dan has to be there. He sort of acts as the interpreter for the president.
Yeah, right. No, he did. It's not a joke that he did look like a deer with his caught in the headlights. I mean, there was a sense of, like, holy, you know, I can't believe I'm here. But we did it together. George was right there, and he says, so how do I do it? You know, and I put the hands up, and not gonna do it, and then I'd go, not gonna do it, and wouldn't be prudent, and he's elbowing me and stuff, you know. And then he finally got Quayle in a headlock, give him a noogie, love this little man, you know. I go, let him go, and Quayle started to cry, let him go, you know. And it got real ugly, right? And
but I feel reassured that our nation is in the hands of these gentlemen after this scenario has been laid out.
No, he was incredibly charming. That's all I can say. Whether you like his politics or not, you immediately loved him. I left that place going, I love Dan Quayle, I love George Bush, and I'm never going to make fun of them again. Tough impression. Not easy to do. Very hard to do that with your voice. Just try it.
Oh, I wouldn't even begin to try it, Dana. In the presence of an artist such as yourself.
It's sort of weird. When I first started doing it, I was doing it kind of whiny. Hello, this is George Bush. How y'all doing? And it's hard to keep that thing, I don't know where it comes from, but that sort of low thing down there in that whole area, doing that thing that you do. He did say thing. He did say thing. That's not something I made up. When I was in the White House, he goes, I love that thing that you do down there. I go, what do you mean? You know that thing? You mean Saturday Night Live? That's what I said. I said, why don't you come to New York and see Saturday Night Live, Mr. President? He said, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. And then they came in with some porridge or something. He put a bib on him and he ate, and it was great. Just kidding.
Oh, you're just kidding. Thank you for clearing that up.
I'm saying, hey. Sorry, I was doing Jerry Seinfeld. Why do they call them metal detectors? Yes, I have a lead pipe in my pants. Hey! Just Jerry Seinfeld can make a joke about anything. That's the amazing thing. Here's a cup of coffee. Why do they call it a cup? It's actually a container of coffee. What's with the cup thing?
Observations about the mundane, elevated to a very high level.
Yes, he does them brilliantly.
How about your Regis impression? Now, this is one that hasn't been seen by as many people who've seen you do Bush.
Yeah.
I've only seen it a couple of times.
But they all know Regis, yeah. Regis, I discovered, well, I always thought he was funny, and I do watch the show because I get up right around 9 and you put him on. And I discovered he kind of has a vaudevillian, anyway, you ready for this? I'm out of control! I mean, that's his rhythm. That's the hook right there. Anyway, you ready for this? I'm out of control! And everything will go to that. I mean, that's his comic lick.
He kind of jumps out of the seat as if there's a mild ejector button, one that isn't going to get him all the way to the ceiling.
Up. Yeah. Gelman's over there. Can the boss tell a story? Can he? Hey! You know. So we think next time it might be funny to have him really report bad news. You know, anyway, 5 people are dead! You know? And have that be his. But I'd like to go on his show. I like him. Enough with the Gifford, you know, the Kathy Lee thing and stuff. So, but he's been great about it. He's called me and
he's a very nice guy.
Funny and yeah, so it's great. You know, that was kind of a neat thing.
Regis is always put upon. That's his hook. Some, not a terrible tragedy, but some annoyance befalls Regis at almost any moment. He is always being dissed.
Right, that he's not as important, you know, and you know, our ratings are not what they could be. You know, that kind of thing. Or Kathy Lee bugs him with the Gifford thing, again with the Frank. You know Frank Gifford?
Very well.
Again with the Gifford.
We all love little Cody too, right?
Oh, yeah, Cody, that's right. Oh, we did a thing where we had Cody on there with all the sunscreen on, like an inch thick, and on the baby's face and stuff. Anyway, he looks like Al Jolson. You can do it at home, kids, anyone who's watching. You just have to say anyway and then scream. You could actually do that one, Bob, but I know you're kind of shy.
Yeah, I don't like to do anything in the presence of the master. You know?
I like what you're saying, but could you put it another way or say it, write it down and give it to me?
I don't step up on stage with Zubin Mehta. I don't do it. I don't do it. I don't take batting practice with Hank Aaron. I just don't do it.
Okay, so you're saying I'm in
not going to do it. Wouldn't be prudent.
Not going to do it. Wouldn't be prudent. You're saying I'm kind of the Hank Aaron of comedy.
Of this little
blown away.
Of this branch of the comedy tree, you are the.
I'm a little tingly all over, and I feel a little tear coming on. I might have to get a hanky and cry. No, that's very nice, Bob.
Stop with this maudlin stuff.
Man.
Stop.
I love you. No, I don't think. Yeah.
Although you better be considering multiple appearances on this show because it might be a while before you're back on the Tonight Show.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I'm just guessing that Johnny wasn't too pleased.
Is that wild? Is that weird? I don't know what you're talking about. I did not know that. That is some weird stuff. The thing, no, I don't. You know, Johnny. I mean, come on, he's Johnny. I don't think he's.
But it was obvious to me he was always very fond of you. When
you
went
I'm
on,
fond of him.
He really appreciated your work. He seemed to like you personally. You went over great.
Yeah.
And then just what I've heard was that he wasn't pleased about the Arsenio bit.
Oh, I don't know really. I mean, we've really made fun of Arsenio. Did you see the Arsenio Beckman thing? And Rick Moranis did a thing where he was really made fun of Merv Griffin, and you know, I mean, who hasn't been made fun of on our show? You know what I mean? But yeah, that one I don't know. I don't know. I haven't heard. I don't know. But my style of comedy is I'm not really vicious. You know, that's why I never even thought I would be on Saturday Night Live, because I never thought I was mean enough. You know what I mean? I just don't really try to hurt the people I'm doing the impression of, you know, because I feel I'm at an unfair advantage, you know. But in that sketch, the way I was playing Johnny, I thought I played him very likable, the way Johnny would approach that information. If Johnny heard that his show was slipping, he wouldn't be mad at Arsenio, he was just incredulous. I did not know that. I mean, he was very charming about it. It says here that your ratings are actually climbing and ours are declining. I did not know that. That is some wild stuff. So even as Johnny was saying it, he was like this incredibly nice guy, so. That is some wild stuff.
Yes? What kind of face were you making? I'm not sure the camera was on. You were doing some weird thing.
I think I was starting to do Tony Montana. A lot of times you do impression, you just have to do the face. I cannot, you know, Scarface, the movie?
Yeah.
I can't do this accent unless I make this face. If you go like this, then you can do it. And that's the face he made. You do a talk like that all the time. You push your mouth in the right place. But if you change your face, I mean, I can't, if I look like me, I can't do it. Well, I could do it a little bit. Okay, I lied. The premise is completely wrong. I can do it with any face. No, it helps, though, to do this. Talk like this.
How do you make yourself look like John McLaughlin? And I don't mean Mahavishnu John McLaughlin, nor do I mean former Milwaukee Bucks guard John McLaughlin, who played with Oscar Robertson. I mean
Issue number one, teeny tiny tabletop. With him, I actually, and I rarely do this, because I don't like to look like a puppet and have so much prosthetics on me that I look like a puppet on the show. I like to generally strip down makeup. With him, though, I did have these prosthetic kind of rubberized things on my face that worked great. That gave me that jolly look, you know. And that kind of did it, just that.
Did I hear a little bit of Hans and Franz in him?
Issue number one. Yeah, issue number one. It's comedian buster. Yeah, it is frightening when you're out there doing the church light and suddenly you go into, like, George Bush. Well, isn't that special? Doing that thing, that whole area. You know, when you do a live show, you're like on a soundstage. Like right now, say I was going to do Jimmy Stewart, and the band is playing during the commercial really loud.
Yeah.
And I don't get a chance to go in a closet and kind of get the voice. So what I do is I'll do this. I'll put my ear up in the studio super loud and just start to try to do Jimmy Stewart and make sure that when I talk, I'll be doing him. You know, because the fear will always be, you'll say, whoa, Jimmy, and I'll just go, you know. So it's good to go, testing, Jimmy, come in, 1, 2, 1, 2. Well, son of a bitch! Can you say bitch at 148? I guess I'll find out. 149, 150. Let me talk a little more about myself.
Please do.
You know, a long time ago, a small boy had a dream. No, go ahead, Bob. Sorry.
This is pretty much a medley of self-indulgence. So you got a half hour. It's just the two of us. I'm here every night. Nobody cares about me, so it's left to you.
Bob, you know, I told you you can just unload on me. Or you have any angst or any problems or your frequent flyer mileage isn't up to date or anything you want to unload on me. I'm here to help. I'm love and action. This is the year I give back to the show and to the planet as a whole, because the planet's been so kind to me.
I think that's important. I think that it's important to share your good fortune.
Yes, it is.
And to do it sincerely.
There was a little bit of saliva that came out and landed there, and you were looking, but you didn't say anything.
Oh, on you?
Yeah, a little bubble right there. You noticed it, but you didn't say anything, and I respect that.
Has Casey Kasem gotten his due? What a segue.
Oh, my God.
Because I sit around and wonder whether Casey Kasem has gotten his due, and perhaps you can clear it up for me.
Casey Kasem was on an airplane with me, came up, was wearing a white sweatsuit. I love people on planes who wear matching sweatsuits, you know. He had the collar up. He says, "You're Dana Carvey. You do me better than I do me. If there wasn't a me, there'd be a you doing me. Helter, I'm Casey Kasem." I go, "I know, you just introduced yourself." And then that night I went home and I had a nightmare about Casey. And in my dream, I'm walking into the kitchen and Casey's there, nude with a butcher knife. You know how weird your dreams can get. And I go, "Casey, what are you doing?" He goes, "Shut your lousy stinking mouth. Shut your mouth or I'll shut it for you. I'll cut you open like a 2-pound trout, and it won't feel very good. I'm Casey Kasem." Then I woke up drenched in sweat in the fetal position on the kitchen floor. And I stood up, and I saw myself in the microwave, the reflection. I started doing the church lady randomly. And then my wife just shook me. We went out for breakfast, and I'm here now.
Haven't we all had that experience?
Good comeback. I'm sorry, am I rambling?
You ever notice?
I never have coffee during the day. I really don't. I'm a breakfast...
Well, it's 10 minutes to 2 in the morning.
Really? Don't you hate people who have a drink of liquid and, like, orgasmic about it, like at a picnic? Excuse me, I'm just really thirsty. You're like, "Do that somewhere else. You're grossing out my family, man." Shut up, just thirsty, man. Sorry, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel, folks. Katharine Hepburn trying to start her car. Damn thing won't start. It's silly, it's stupid, but it never fails. Can we go? We should go to a commercial so we can just laugh. I was gonna put some ice in it. I'm out of control. All right. Yes?
Cue the commercial.
Anyway, you ready for this? We're going to commercial. attracted me when I was a busboy, Bob.
Why not?
Women do not like busboys, as we called ourselves, table maintenance personnel managers.
Why not? Is it just too lowly a position?
I guess so. You're sitting there with that little Holiday Inn green jacket, the tartar sauce stain slowly creeping down the front, you know, creating faces and little cloud structures. And you never see two women going, Barbara, put down your sour fork. Look at that busboy over there. Look at those big hands scooping up those garbanzo beans. My God, he's not a busboy. He's a dish god. Look at him! You never see that, ladies and gentlemen. But you know, when I first started doing stand-up, I looked so young. My first line was always, I'd get on stage and go, how many people feel I look like I should be in the window at Sears? All boys wear, half off. Which you could still work that.
Well, that's like
You're the only interviewer that looks younger than me. I'm terrified. You're like 30, well, we don't want to say.
Whatever.
I'm 35, but I read at a 38-year-old level.
That's encouraging.
I've always been big for my age,
You're
even
precocious. You're a very precocious fella.
Don't use those big words on me, Bob. I went to a community college. Precocious. What is that?
So you had a line like Louis Anderson. Might as well get the most obvious thing out of the way and disarm him right off the bat. Louis used to walk out, and his opening line was, I can't stay long, I'm between meals. And that got it out of the way.
Right.
And
Yeah, he did that at the night show, and just, it killed. Yeah. He's a good stand-up.
You know what you should do?
Yes?
You should do Casey Kasem making some esoteric point about George Michael, and then segue between Casey Kasem and George Michael.
Into the look at my butt.
Yeah.
That is a trip. You know, when I did George Michael, which is so... Oh, he's trying to set me up here. And now George Michael, the man with the magical butt. The butt that can rule nations. Here he is, George Michael. Look at my butt. I mean, imagine George Michael looking at this tape of me doing him, showing my butt, going, look at my butt. My butt has powers. My butt can control nations and rule continents. If you put a wilted flower near my butt, it blooms. I don't claim to understand my butt. I'm only its servant. Accept my butt and live, reject it and die. Now, this guy has to be watching this with his girlfriend or something. Like, it's a lot like me. I mean, it's a good impression, ain't it? But that was kind of weird.
You think anyone confuses him with George Michael of NBC's Sports Machine?
There was someone suggested I do that, you know, with George Michael with the Sports Machine thing, and you press the thing, it's all about the butts and stuff. I don't know. But I do think there is an obsession with buttocks, and I thought that someone should mention it. But it did. George Michael mentioned it on some music award show. He said, "Thanks to Saturday Night Live for giving my butt the notoriety it deserves." So and it changed his life.
Did your dad want you to get a haircut that looked like you'd had a haircut? Hey, you're not taking off enough. You'll have to come back in 2 months.
Oh, my dad would just shave our heads. It was his whole life, you know. I mean, he would just, what do you want to have? You want to be a long hair? That's what he'd say to me. I'm like 5 years old. You want to be a long hair? You know, and he just there are 4 brothers, and we'd line us up on bar stools and just shave our heads, just shear us like sheep, and we would look like 4 billiard balls by the time he's finished, you know. My mom would come in, Dana, in the side pocket. Dinner was ready. She'd say, Bud, rack 'em up. Yeah, but Bud's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother...
Another story...
We'll save that for the next episode.
For another visit.
Yeah.
It says here that Dana Carvey will be appearing on April 5th at Roger Williams College, which, as you all know, is in Bristol, Rhode Island, and on May 4th at Fairfield University, which is, naturally enough, in Fairfield, Connecticut. And in between, you'll see him on Saturday Night Live, and we're gone. See you later.